3. We are live. It's not live there, but it probably will be live. So let's just continue. Welcome to episode 4 of Westworld, our Westworld review. The title of the episode is Dissonance Theory. And with me is Mr. Charles. How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good. And Westworld's getting better with every episode. I love it.
Cool. And of course, next up is Mr. Lou Rod.
What up?
All right. Seems like Hangouts now has a time delay, so there's roughly around a good 15-second delay here. But let's get into meat of the matter. Yesterday, of course, was The Walking Dead, but also we did have Westworld, and Westworld episode 4 is up. So starting off with you, Charles, since this is your first entry to the show, what were your thoughts on Westworld episode 4? And at least just maybe a quick summary of some of the other 3 episodes you've watched.
Okay, I'll do the summary of the previous 3 episodes. I like it. My opinion towards the show so far is that it's been getting progressively better as each episode airs. Episode 1 was fantastic. Episode 2 was even better. Episode 3 was even better. And episode 4 was on par with episode 3. And yeah, I'm going to suck with the whole summary thing. But basically, I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes, and episode 4 is no different. Although I am starting to notice a slight problem, which isn't really enough to damn the entire show, but it is noticeable. And that's they said the show is intended to be a 5-year run, and that it's going to eventually build up to the androids going crazy and killing everybody. Well, in episode 4, they showed like the madam of like the brothel and everything, noticing that she was shot, stabbed herself in the gut and everything, and they're starting to become aware of the whole surroundings and everything that's going on. It seems they're moving a little too quickly for that kind of stuff. In order for it to be a 5-year run, they're moving too fast. It looks like at this rate, the androids are going to go nuts by the end of the first season.
No.
All right, cool. We'll get back to that. But Lou, thoughts?
Episode was good. I really enjoyed it. I'm really digging the Man in Black.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And
Yes.
and I want to call the other one Cupcake.
Lawrence. His name is Lawrence.
No, his name is Cupcake.
Lawrence.
I am not calling him Cupcake. You're a cupcake.
He was the Cupcake.
Well, cupcakes aside, I think that yeah, I agree with you. The episode was good. The Man in Black, of course, I think is still the central piece. I think the main villain of the show is Anthony Hopkins for this season, because I think he had something to do with Arnold's death or disappearance. Let's call it whatever it is.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Arnold and the Man in Black have a connection, whether it's brother, family, or something. I do like that small glimpse of the outside world where that guy came up to him and said, "Oh man, it's a pleasure meeting you. Your foundation helped my sister." And the guy was like, "This is my fracking vacation. Get lost." So, it seems like he's really big and important out there, whether he's a super billionaire or he's, somebody out there. But But what was interesting was the fact that he said he had a philanthropy organization. So out there, he's a philanthropist. In here, he's just an asshole.
And here he's a badass cowboy.
Yeah. So I like that little glimpse. A lot of people might have missed that, but I think it just kind of shows you how each character, each human or host guest comes in, and then they portray themselves differently. Everyone takes a very different path altogether. So the question I want to ask is characters. Which are your favorite characters so far? Because we've got a cycle of a couple. I know it's 4 episodes, but which characters do you like the most? Favorite and least favorite. I'll start off with you, Lou.
Well, I don't really have a favorite. I'm intrigued by the Man in Black. And my least favorite...
Okay, let's put the Man in Black aside, because we're all going to mention that.
Well, if we put him aside, then I kind of like Anthony Hopkins. I like Mr. Ford, because he's up to something. I mean, he scared the piss out of that chick.
Well, he destroyed everything that he built.
But with mind control at that.
Yeah, true.
It's like homie got some serious god tendencies in that damn park.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I definitely see that. How about you, Charles?
Okay, I would have to say my favorite character in the show so far would have to be Dolores. I think Dolores is going to get a very interesting arc as the show progresses. I think she's going to be the first one to go nuts. I don't know if she's going to kill anybody. I think she is going to be an android that will become self-aware, and she's probably going to be her own person. She's not going to start killing hosts or anything like that, but she's going to be the most human of them when they go self-aware. As for my least favorite, I would have to say so far is Bernard.
Bernard's cool. Bernard's killing it, dude. Bernard's tapping that booty.
Wait, let him finish.
Yeah, I'm not liking where Bernard's arc is going. I'm not liking where it's going. I don't want to say that I don't know. It's just when I try to analyze his narrative and try to see what directions he goes in, none of them are good. Just the ones that I can come up with, it's just I'm not looking forward to where his arc is going, because his sessions with Dolores have always been a bit suspicious for me. I mean, I'm not thinking like he's gonna like do what most of the guests do and like rape the hosts and all that, but I think, how do I say this? I think what he's doing is going to lead to the majority of the hosts going nuts. And that's why I think he's not going to be the main villain. I do agree with Anthony Hopkins' character is going to be the main villain this season. But I think Bernard's actions are going to cause everything going to crap.
Okay.
And I don't know. In a nutshell, Dolores is my favorite. Bernard is my least favorite.
All right.
Okay,
For
the
me,
whole Dolores and Bernard situations, I look at it as therapy session.
It's a bit therapy. For me, my favorite character is Bernard. For me, Bernard, because he is the only one who does not have a true motive. Because compared to everybody else, even if you take the host, in a sense, Dolores wants to be free. She doesn't know it yet, but she's fighting that. Like something in her is fighting that. You take Anthony Hopkins, you can see his God complex has always been there from the very, very beginning. And we see the Man in Black is on this very distinct mission. For me, Bernard is the one who could be the worst villain down the line somewhere, or he could be part of their savior. Like he could go anywhere. I like the fact that they've really put his character still in that mode where he can veer left or right. And, is it something where he learns that he can get his son back somehow through artificial intelligence? That's the kind of thing that I think that, even though he's not thinking that now, but I think that might play down the line with his character. The other character, in terms of least favorite character, even though I think he will be better later on, is James Marsden's character, the
Teddy.
Yes. I think Teddy will have a better arc towards the end of the season. But right now he hasn't done anything, so he's pretty much boring. But when you mentioned Dolores will turn sentient first, I definitely agree. But I think Tandy Newton's character, the prostitute in the bar, the madam. I call her the madam because she is the one who is going to lead the revolution.
I think she's going to die soon.
I don't think she's going to die. No, Tandy Newton's not dying.
Dude, she's died how many times so far?
Yeah,
No. See, she's the one who's starting to go mad.
She's not. No, she's not.
She's remembering things. She's going crazy about the freaking alien.
No. You missed it. You missed it. I mean, almost you missed it. When she pulled the bullet out, what she said, she's like, "I am not crazy anymore, and nothing in this world matters." That means she knows that she can't die. Because remember, there was a clip this later on that it looked like they mixed the audio with the clip where she was in surgery, where she said, "I have died so many times. Can you?" So she knows that there's something, whether she may think it's just her, that there's something different with her, or aliens, whatever the case may be. But I think she's the one that,
Aliens.
I know, because right now she doesn't know. Like she's still in that mode of, okay, those in Native Americans think that it's some kind of spirit guide god, right? That wades you through the afterlife. So if there's a bullet in me and that spirit guide, I saw it, then that means I'm golden. So I think she's the one that will lead the revolution, and I think Dolores might just be the polar opposite of her in that sense. That's my gauge.
So what you're saying is the Madam is going to be the one that's going to be leading the homicidal androids, while Dolores is going to be the more she's going to be self-aware, but she's going to be the most human of them, and she's not going to be homicidal. She's going to be more curious than homicidal.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Dolores comes off that way, her character, and it looks like I mean, from all indications now, it looks like her character has not gone through any arc where she's been delirious. I mean, she's gone crazy or been homicidal in any of the different scripts that they had. Meanwhile, the madam is the one who remembered the trauma of her child. She's had those pictures and paintings, and like, again, to me, those short words she said afterwards kind of points her to being that kind of person that will go, frack it, I don't care, like I'm done, like. Who cares? It'll be interesting to see if we see the next episode. Some guest comes into the into the salon, and she just kind of like says, "F you, I'm done." And then that's when we know that she's really just taking that left turn.
Next episode, though, we're gonna have the Man in Black sit down with Mr. God himself.
Yeah.
But was that Teddy? Was that Cupcake number 2?
That was Teddy. And he tried to attack it. The Man in Black, he knows. That's why the man in Black came with Teddy. Remember, he rescued Teddy from the tree that he was tied up. So the Man in Black is coming with Teddy. The Man in Black tries to attack Anthony Hopkins, and Teddy stops him. That's the kind of control that he has, and the control the Ford, aka Harrison Ford. I'm sorry, not Harrison Ford. Anthony Hopkins' character has over the host is so subtle. You don't even know his voice cues that he uses. Everything's in conversation. Like when he was talking to the lady, the management lady, and everything froze, he didn't give a single cue. He was just talking.
I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
I thought he used some mind control type shit.
No, I don't know. I mean, everything they've told us is based on audio cues in terms of controlling the host, getting them to go through subroutines and giving them information. So it looks like he just literally has either total voice control because it's his voice that they hear. So nothing can happen to him, or he has full control over them.
Well, he's the creator, so he should have that godlike voice.
Yeah. I mean, again, he's the co-creator. To me, is what did he do to Arnold?
Locked him in a cell, threw away the key, and feeds him periodically.
What is the end game that the Man in Black think Arnold has? To me, I think that's Arnold's brother. And I think he was probably their first investor into Westworld.
The problem will be we won't find that out until probably, if we're lucky, the end of the season or sometime in season 2.
Yeah, I think that's Arnold's brother, and I think he was probably the first person to invest into Westworld. Probably, he was super rich, and he's like, all right, I help my brother out. And then next minute, his brother just kind of, starts drifting away and then disappears or dies.
Well, they keep saying that Arnold killed himself.
That was Ford who said it, not Dave. Ford is the only one who's told us about Arnold, literally. Okay. No one else. The only person that mentioned Arnold was the Man in Black. That's it.
Yeah.
So Ford and I think the Man in Black are the only two people who know. So which means either there was a third business partner, and that is technically the Man in Black, or he's his brother or family member.
Or the Man in Black is just some curious ass guy and he's on a mission to figure out what's at the center of the maze.
Nah,
No,
he's too rich. He knows Arnold. There's no way. No.
Yeah, I have to agree with E on this. He knows Arnold on some level, like he said, either a brother or he's a third business partner.
Yeah.
Because if it's just some random guy who's curious about this whole thing, that would be a stupid plot move.
Yeah, I mean, because think about it. Bernard did not know who Arnold was.
Bernard don't know who Arnold is, but he sent Dolores on the mission to find the maze, the center of the maze.
Yeah,
Did
I mean,
he?
no. Well, we saw the clip, but he never sent her in this mission in this episode.
Yeah, he did. In this particular episode, the first time they talked in today's episode, he tells her.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he talked about the maze. Now, how did he know about the maze? We don't know. That's why I said Bernard is a sneaky character. He's the sneakiest of all because everybody's intentions are pretty clear in a very general. I mean, the person with the clearest intention is the management lady. I mean, straight up, it's just business, managing and seeing. But we don't know what the intentions of the corporation is. You know, what do they want to do with Westworld?
Well, what could they do? I mean, I right now all Westworld is just a theme park. It's a theme park to be in the Western world, which is completely fine. But I guess it could have additional applications, especially for the androids, that could use them as troops in, like, let's say, military to replace soldiers, that kind of thing. So maybe Westworld could be sort of a petri dish, and
or maybe
seeing.
Go ahead.
And the androids in that petri dish are the bacteria growing. So it's kind of like a science experiment, and the board is the scientists observing the science experiment.
Or maybe also eternal life. Being
Really?
being able to download their consciousness in there. I mean,
oh man, that is incredibly risky.
So, but if you can't die in the android body,
what if that is the center of the maze?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Arnold has the program.
And
to
that's
create
exactly
eternal life.
We're thinking it's so basically maybe the show has two parts. One is the androids, yes, which is everybody would say typical, but the other part is really extending themselves in eternal life. And maybe that's something that what's his name didn't want. Ford didn't want. Ford felt like it was maybe not necessary, and that's why he killed Arnold. I'm just guessing. But I think that also goes to play. If the board thinks that, you know what, if these things are so useful and then we can do more with it, why not?
Yeah, I guess the applications for the androids are nearly limitless, but still, downloading one's consciousness to an android's body is very risky because there's always the chance that not all of what makes you gets downloaded. There might be things missing, crucial parts of your own personality missing in the download.
If you're 80 years old and you're about to die, like literally, let's just put it that way.
This falls into the parameters or into the territory of transhumanism. And for anyone who knows me, I am against transhumanism. I think that crap scares the living hell out of me.
Yeah, I mean, whether you're against it or not, but I'm just saying in the context of the show, if you are 80, 90, if you're terminally ill and you have enough money to pay,
it's okay, wiggle.
They tell you it's $2 billion and you have $2 billion. Of course you take it. I mean, at least people like that will take it. So I think that's something else that the management side might want to look at. The other thing that I think most people do notice is that people live on the moon. If you look at that shot of Dolores looking at the moon, you can see light trails on supposedly the crack craters. To me, looks like cities, or at least doesn't look like a standard moonshot. That's just me thinking out.
I didn't call that. That's another thing. When does this take place? How far into the future does it take place?
Don't know, but all I know is that every time they reference the outside world, they go rotations when you're going back. To me, Westworld feels very isolated, so something must be up.
Of course it's isolated because the people that work there also live there. They don't actually leave on those little tram things and go to their home out into the real world, which leads me to believe that that Westworld is all underground, which I think that's pretty much confirmed.
No, it's not underground. You're actually outside. It's only when you come into the main hub that you go underneath the mountain. That's just pretty much it. I mean, if you go to the Westworld website, it shows you a diagram of Westworld. Yeah, there are a lot of layers on the ground in terms of storage, functionality, but the park itself is above ground.
Yeah, the park is outside, but all the operation takes place underneath, and you always notice that they go up.
Yeah.
When they're going
and
outside.
that pretty much destroys my theory. So never mind.
Yeah, and then you also have the fact that
see, back to your moon thing. That shot was intriguing, but at the same time, yeah, Dolores is looking up at the moon, but then you realize she's looking at a light.
No, yeah, she was looking at a light, but she was remembering the moon because she looked at the moon before. So it wasn't that. Watch that scene again. Look at the moon properly, and then I'll try and find other shots of the moon on the show. But I think, I think the Earth has been pieced up into different parks, and nobody lives there.
And everybody now lives on the moon.
Yeah, I think it's way. That's the thing. We don't know when in the future is, whether it's 100 years from now, or is it 30 years from now? Is it 60? Is it 200? We don't know. But to me, it's interesting to see where this takes place in time.
I don't think we're going to find out.
I think we'll find out like whenever the show ends. We definitely will find out then.
That leads me to another potential theory, which falls into speculation territory. Do you think Dolores is going to become, when she inevitably becomes self-aware, do you think she's going to leave the park and end up going into the real world?
I think she'll try to, but I mean, I think it's going to be a journey for her to try and leave the park.
I think that's what's going to end up happening probably in the final season.
And I think Lawrence is the one who will try and get her out.
Oh, Cupcake?
Stop calling him Cupcake.
He's a cupcake. His own boy's referring to him as a cupcake.
Anyway, he's the one that I think will help her leave. And I think that's going to affect Teddy in a very wrong way. I think she's actually going to fall in love with Lawrence, and then Teddy is going to get jealous. We'll see how that affects his programming if he gets sentient also at a certain point, and that whole plays out a whole different scenario altogether too.
So you think Teddy's going to become a bad guy at some point?
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I mean, she told Teddy
that would be a first. I don't know how I think about Teddy yet. From what I've seen so far, there was maybe only one situation that did come off as menacing. And what was it, like episode 2 or it was episode 1 or 2, I don't remember which one, where he ended up going with those group of friends and he was just sitting in the chair on the front porch of that house and a fly was just he was staring off into space. And that was a little menacing to me. But aside from that, I don't have enough information to determine where he's going.
Well, I mean, yeah, Teddy has no arc yet. I mean, we clearly saw that. Teddy's arc is basically to facilitate Dolores.
His arc is live, die, repeat.
Yeah, but his arc literally is to facilitate Dolores.
They changed his arc for the whole Wyatt arc. So
no, they didn't change it fully. They just added it. Basically, remember what he said? He says you never had a backstory. So the Wyatt part is his backstory. That's why when they mentioned Wyatt, remember, it triggered. Because before he was like, I'm going to go. He was going to go do his usual thing. And then Wyatt was mentioned and he goes, oh, no, that's the guy I have to kill. And then he turns away. And I think Teddy not being able to answer Dolores by basically saying, I'm going to take you away now. That's going to, of course, cause Dolores to look for love somewhere else because Teddy just doesn't seem to want to be with her in her mind. Because he's not taking that action. That's where Laurel comes.
Program for him.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter. Laurel comes in. She's breaking her programming. So that's where, again, we don't know also, we still haven't gone back to whether this change is also infectious, because they kind of mention that. So is this a signal it's infecting host by host by host? And that's something that may cause Teddy to react a different way. I would like to see Teddy go bad.
That'll be a first for his character.
Yeah, it would be. Any final thoughts before we round up?
No, I got nothing.
Lou?
Yeah, no, nothing neither. Just I think next week's episode is going to be the one that's going to give us some more answers.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think next week will be definitely an episode to watch. All right, guys. Thank you very much for chiming in on our Westworld review. Thank you very much, Lou, as well as also Charles. You can follow both Lou and Charles. You can see Charles's Twitter handle right there. I am not going to pronounce it right now because my nose is just killing me. But
I'll do it for you. It's at Charles GOTR.
yes, and of course, Lou is
The Buddha Rod.
There's no there. Get out. All right. And mine, of course, is OnBoored. Sorry, my lower third isn't working. Thank you very much, guys. Subscribe to the channel and always enjoy your entertainment.
Bye-bye.
Wait, cancel.